What is up, everyone? Back at it again with another new video. The new champion, Naafiri, but this time mid lane. I'm gonna show you guys her best position and how broken this champion is in the right hands and how strong she is. She recently got hotfix nerf, but that's not enough to stop the beast, the dog. That's just unbelievably incredibly strong. That's super good at snowballing, super good at roaming and just getting kills, super OP in team fights, and this build is just going to make you dominate as much as possible. So for starters, you can go longsword or deep blade, depends on the game. Q into Q max is always best, E max second as well. Build pass, you can go eclipse or dustblade, seem to be the best performer. Dustblade right now is the best. Second item, I personally like edge knight every time. If I want an extra lethality item, third I go axiom arc, but it really depends on how I feel like itemizing. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be against a Riven mid. So Riven, usually not your mid lane champ, but this time it is going to be the mid lane I'm playing against. So how to play Naafiri in the mid lane. So for starters, hitting Qs is literally all you have to do. So if I hit a Q, and then it's just going to be a good situation for us. So that's one Q hit. That's very good. Hitting a second, again, very good, as I can proc those abilities. So usually you don't want her to clear your wolves like that. That's what the E point is going to be very good at. It's going to allow us to kind of save our wolves by casting our E to kind of keep them alive. So you could go W here, but I'm not really looking to kind of go too crazy in the early. Your early game is usually just last hit. Your wolves do help you last hit as well, so it's always a win. And just make sure you're getting your CS here. I have the attack speed rune to help me CS, because CS is extremely important thing about League of Legends. So here, if I see her trying to last hit, just throw in some Qs. I don't really want to overly do it. I want to keep my wolves alive, so I E-cast to pull them back. Don't want them to die too early. Dying under tower is just a no-go. I want them to be there. If I don't have wolves and she goes on me, it's just extremely dangerous. So you could go another point into W. Personally, I think I don't really think W early is actually even that good. I get like level 4. It's just like, it really doesn't do that much. It kind of locks you into like its weird animation. It's only really good for gap closing, and here you get that trade. Let your wolves go a little bit and then eat them backwards. It's kind of how you want to play. I have presence of mind, so as long as I'm hitting my Qs, I'm getting like infinite mana, so I'm not really too scared. Here I should be able to get a good trade here. And the bleed effect, if I hit one Q, it just bleeds her out, so it's just like extremely good. Don't really want to tank there. So that's pretty much how you want to play lanes. Usually against range champs, you're going to be going for like heavier Qs and stuff like that. So here I got my wolves trade. Do not let her kill it. E backwards if you hit trades like that. Usually you shouldn't be so close to tower that you have to E like that. Ideally we can aggressively E a bit, but this guy's not looking like an easy lane phase for early game. Remember, E backwards, keep them alive. We don't want them to die early. Here we're being able to kill her, I think. Yeah, I mean, she tried all in. Not her best decision right there. This guy is ghost, so we can just flash over here. I do want this wave to push, so I'm gonna go back there. So we have to push this wave, very important. Get the last hit here. And the good thing about Naafiri is she's extremely strong at last hitting. Here I might be able to help here. Beautifully done. That second Q does missing health damage. I repeat, missing health. So the lower they are, the more it does. It also consumes your bleed. It also heals you the second part. So if I hit someone with one Q, I will be able to get that second benefit, as you can tell right there. So build paths, Dustblade is going to be our build. Dustblade into Edge Knight, most likely. Refillable. Obviously, we want that extra sustain. Now I'm actually really strong. I should be able to win any trade. I could have went for an extra boot spy, but not really planning on roaming just yet. I think I can get an easy kill on her at level 6. Your level 6 is extremely strong. If you can get them below half and they don't have CC, you can just W onto them and it's pretty free. Here, same thing. I'm gonna go on. I have red buffs. I can keep chasing and do whatever damage I can. The W gap close, I would say it's favorable. You will get CC'd, so you have to be careful. If they have any stun, it will interrupt you, so don't really throw it unless you feel like it's going to be really powerful. So here I should be able to get it here. Wolves are a bit far, but I think this guy's got it. Beautifully done. And now we just kind of play for pushes. We're going to keep pushing our lane, and now we're going to start roaming because our R is literally one of the most broken roaming abilities in the game. So if I want to go topside, I can, but I really want this wave pushed in. You only roam when it's really good for you. You don't want to hurt yourself and roaming. And I also want a plate if I can get a plate. I see them moving up, but if I can get one plate, I'm really happy. That puts me in a really good position. This is when we're going to leave. Bring our wolves, and we're probably going to look to base here. They did dragon, so, you know, play for yourself before you start roaming. Roaming is not something you just do out of nowhere. You want the roams to kind of be good and just smart, right? So once I do another play mid and I just keep getting my CS, I'm going to look to roam more, especially if I feel like this Riven's going to play under tower. If I feel like a champ just isn't really taking aggressive trades against me, I'll push them under tower and then I'll roam from either top or bot. And here at ball lane is really aggressive, so is top, so we can easily make some plays. But first, let's focus on our own lane. I'm extremely strong. Ignite's coming up. There's no way she can beat me if I get any Qs on her. Very hard to win. See, that Q is just really bad. She tries to trade on it. E backwards. Keep my dogs alive. This is an important thing. This is the most important thing when you're playing her, is do not let them cast spells to kill your wolves. Your wolves are extremely important. And I've already gotten her so low that I think she will be close to death. And I think if Udyr comes here, I should be in an okay position. That Q was very nice. Might have to sacrifice my wolves though. I was able to save one. Udyr's gonna look from the other side, but she's in one-shot range after I hit one more Q. We just have to watch out for our all-in. She does have all-in specialty. I just can't W freely because of just naturally just how it works. If I get interrupted on my W cast, it's just not ideal. But there, that was actually a really good trade. If I W, it puts me in a really dangerous position. But here, I don't even have to engage on her. All I have to do is cast Qs, and if I hit them, she will just die. Here, I can actually just kill her with one more Q to ignite. And then I can just kind of reset it. But I think she dies now, yeah. All team increases your AD, which naturally increases the bleed that was on them. Plus, it just gives me that movement speed plus shielding. If I need to all in, I can just all in like that. The bleed is really OP. So if I miss my first Q, but I hit them with the second Q becomes the bleed. So it takes that kind of benefit from it. So here I'm going to reset. I have my dust blade plus my boot spy. So it's going to be really good for our lane. This is how you want to play this champion. Really wither them down. I could have easily played to roam more, maybe influence the lane, but I feel pretty comfortable just getting this Riven behind. Obviously not that. That's something we buy later. Is either we go into that second or we go Edge Knight. I personally go Edge Knight second. Third, if they're stacking armor, we go Grudge. Grudge is so good on Naafiri. If not, we go straight into the Axiom Mark for our lethality. I see some people go Prowler's Claw. I don't like Prowler's Claw. I don't think it's that important. I really do like Axiom Mark because it gives you that extra R. And I think that extra R is just really powerful. Here, I'm actually so strong that I can start just Wing on. As long as I can just get her with like one single Q. We got our Vader and her abilities there. That's really good for us. Our wolves just constantly kill, so this is really good for us. And that bleed damage is, as we talked about, very, very strong. The second Q consumes the bleed and also does all that bonus damage. What I think this champ's really broken about is just the fact that, honestly, my R cooldown is so short, which is really cool. I already killed her. Really play around that tower. You just hit them with a Q. It aggroes your wolves to jump on them. then when your wolves are aggroed, right? They can tank the tower for you as long as you're not undertaking it. They just constantly they perma chase people, which is really cool. For 3 seconds. So here I'm gonna roam here. Maybe we can make a play. All right, I guess he didn't really need me. How are you doing, Heckram? You don't want to dabble this one? I'm thinking we can hit him. I'm thinking we can dabble with this boy. Have Ignite coming up. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And boom, headshot. I'm feeling pretty good about it. My damage is really high. Once you get level 9 Q, your damage is just insane. This is where we talk about CDR boots is really good. I think I'm just gonna maximize my damage here by going straight into run. Don't feed my lane. Don't feed my lane, bro. Good shit. Good. This is why I'm going into my edge at night. And CDR boots is really good if you want boots. On average, you're gonna go CDR boots, but if you're against like a lot of AP, you can go Merc Treads. Tabbies is okay, but I don't like Tabbies. I think I would rather go CDR over Tabbies. But MR is really, if you're against like AP jungle mid, MR boots are really strong. They're pretty low, honestly. We could fight. I have ulti. I really want to fight this. Just need to get in range here. Get the slow, get the resets. We have a million wolves, so we just have to get them in range. They start tanking pretty early. I still have my W, but okay, maybe now he's a bit too far. Oh, wolves have tagged him. I think I got the bleed on him. He's bleeding, and we got him. Headshot. I think that one's mine. My boys, my children, my babies have that lockdown. And overall, we're gonna go back to mid, and we're gonna keep playing. This is how you want to play. And also, think of her like Talon jungle if you want. If your ulti's up and you have Ignite, literally go into the enemy jungle, press R, and kill him on his red buff. That timer is around 5 minutes. You're gonna be level 6. While their enemy jungle is going to be level 5. That one's really good. Walk in here or one-shot him. They have nowhere to run. I've done that a couple times and it's just really powerful. This champion's super overtuned. I think it's the most broken mid laner in the game currently. You just want to make sure you're comboing well. When I W, I just always E right away to get the extra damage on top of them. Lures them, and then it gets the missing health damage, which is really good. And the second Q we talk about, it amplifies, it does a bleed. If you already tag them once, this is where the extra damage really kicks in, and it consumes the bleed plus missing health damage. Now here, we're just gonna go CDR boots. We talked about it already. Don't want to go too much into detail. Top is losing. I'm pretty good into Aatrox. I can always, you know, my champion, it's all about keeping my distance and hitting Qs. Using E to kind of like keep my wolves alive. I think some people you're not gonna, realistically, you're not gonna win fights. He feared my wolves. I didn't even think that was a thing. What? I actually didn't even think that was a thing. Should be able to kill here. Go, my children. All right, I died to Udyr there. I didn't even think that was a thing, but he can fear every single wolf he presses R. Just keep that in mind. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that's something to really think about that much, but it is something to think about. Interesting. Okay, Aatrox has that ability, but yeah, you have to wither people down with your Q bleed, especially if you're laning against them. You're gonna die a lot if you just W in every time until you get a lot of damage. Like I'm starting to get to that point where I can just W in. But a lot of that early game is to wither them down with Qs, hit that second Q to consume the bleed, deal extra damage, and that's how you want to play. All right, my ulti is back up. I'm gonna try to fight here. My team really needs me, so I'm gonna head here and fight. Hit the bleed. Let my... Hoping I configured my wolves again. But we're able to kill here. Thank God. My ulti movement speed only lasts 3 seconds. And it does amplify again if you get a kill assist. Here I think I'm going to go for the Draven. If you W someone, it does lock on your wolves. So if you ever want your wolves to jump on them, you can just W. You don't even have to take the W, you just have to hit it. I'm gonna try to go on the Draven here. Ooh, I didn't get that second auto off. It's a little unfortunate. That was a little unfortunate, but we're still really strong, so I'm not too worried about this game at all. You cannot be worried. You just have to believe in yourself. If you don't hit the first Q, the second Q is not going to deal that extra damage. It's just going to apply the bleed, so don't expect to nuke people down like that. I was expecting to get another auto, but his E was able to knock me backwards. Once you get the grudge, the slow is super good, because once you bleed... Cleaver is super good on her too. I go Cleaver like afterwards too. I find it to be very powerful. I think I can maybe kill them here if they go for dragon. But it's more likely that I kill like a Rakan or something. Just get the autos and the wolves. They usually do the rest of the damage. Ooh, we got the kill. Riven's going for us, but we have our wolves. We just need the second Q. And we hit it. Beautifully done. I mean, this champion is just insane with your wolves. If you just let your wolves deal the damage, it just does insane value. And that's something you guys have to really understand. A lot of your damage is just your wolves attacking and not dying. And you ever need to heal them, remember we just E to recall them. And then it just resets their HP, so it heals them. That's a really important part. And it's how you want to play her. Keep your wolves alive. And just let them do the work and just try to live and hit Qs. Obviously, when they're running, you just run them down and just throw as much abilities as possible. But sometimes you're going to really have to be more smooth about it. Here, I think I could either go the Axiom Arc or the Grudge build. I think I'm going to go Grudge here. You just naturally have some tanky champs. Might R here, but... Headshot. Get the reset, so that just increases your ulti again. Our W is going to be in range in a second. You cannot flash this ability. Whoever tries to flash, they need to remember that. Hit the bleed. Once the bleed hits, the extra damage is really good. And the healing is really nice on the bleed effect, is what I like. I'm a base now. Game's going pretty well. It scales infinitely. Like, her scaling is just insane. I get a free VS sword just by pressing R, which value-wise is just impossible to put a number on it. There's just like nothing that can compare to like this R will give me 46 attack damage. Even after the hotfix nerfs, this champion is the best champion in the game for sure. She takes some time to play, but people are starting to get the hang of her. So if you play mid and you like this champion, or you want to get better at her as a jungler, next patch she's getting buffed for jungle. So we might see some of that in play. But here I'm going to get the red and we're going to start fighting. I'm good at mid, I'm good at jungle. I play her both. But right now her mid lane is much more broken. But they might nerf that and buff jungle, so it's good to kind of play around with everything. And the grudge, you see how my bleed effect perma keeps the grudge slow. Same thing with cleaver. If I hit them with a Q, and I have black cleaver, it will apply the bleed and apply all cleaver stacks. Very good later in the game. So if you want that tankiness, the cleaver buy is really good. Here I'm gonna break this tower and maybe look to fight them after that. I mean, this guy is ambitious. Oh, they're both dead. I hit a Q, might be able to finish him with my wolves, but I had to E backwards to heal. Ooh, if I didn't take that tower shot, I probably could have got out. You can E over walls. I mean, I didn't really touch on that, but you can E over all small walls. So a lot of walls this game we could easily just E over and get right on top. And for other items, Axiom Arc we talked about. If you want extra lethality, this is the best lethality item after Edge of Night. So this game I don't really need it because they're all like really tanky champs. And then I go into like Cleaver. DD is not bad as well if you want an armor item. GA, people go GA as well. For MR, obviously Maw is your option. I don't really need MR this game, so our build is like Cleaver, DD, or Guardian Angel, depending. And I talked about the bleed effect applying Cleaver, so I just want to show you guys by purchasing the item. But I mean, you win side lanes, you win grouped up team fights. Just remember to get flanks off and try to be not to be the first one. If your ulti runs out in a team fight, you're kind of doomed. Really important, really important having that ulti ready to go. My W range is pretty crazy right now. I'm surprised she doesn't want to tango. But she doesn't want a piece of her destiny. I mean, I respected Riven. You got destroyed all lane phase. Why would you want to fight the man who just obliterated you and your family? Try to get the bleeds on. Hit those Qs. My ulti's literally back up again. That's what I'm talking about. Our cooldown is just insanely... Your wolves will get you power aggro, so... Oh my god, I got obliterated. I got the bleed though, that I was able to kill. I got obliterated from that guy. In this game, I think I go DD. Yeah, so when you ulti, it gives you that attack damage and then empowers you by summoning 4 pack mates. And then when you attack someone, it gives you the movement speed. Or not movement speed, it gives you the shield for 3 seconds. So if you hit someone, it gives you that huge shield. That's what I was going for with Udyr. And also when you ulti, it gives you vision for 4 seconds movement speed. So that's really good for catching. That's why you see me ulti early, just to reveal. And then once I reveal, I have that extra movement speed. I'm running them down. But game's going pretty well, so we just want to go Baron and end this game. Like, I'm not afraid to go into late game, don't get me wrong. I would destroy late game, but I'm also just a man of honor. I want to end the game when it must be ended. And here, you're super good for tanking Baron. Just keep your Baron, keep it alive by using E, so make sure your wolves aren't dying. You can just perma tank with your wolf damage here, and your bleed effect is just insane. And if you want to ulti, you ulti, it gives you all the wolves, and you just literally do Baron in like 5 seconds. It's not balanced at all. So much about this champion is not balanced. I'm surprised Riot didn't really think about how broken this champion with hyper mobility can be, but I'm happy. I hope the next jungler that gets released, the new vampire jungler, is as OP. Ooh, I did so much damage with my bleeds, but I wasn't able to one-shot him. That was what I was going for. Maybe that was a bit trolled for me to dive like that. I was hoping to one-shot with my bleed into E combo, but he got shielded by Rakan last second. Remember DD? I'm going for the DD this game, so. Also for pots, red pot is really good on her. All your spells deal high amounts of physical damage. No true damage in this kit. All attack damage, that physical vamp is just super important to have. So red pots are really good later in the game. Oh, I'm ruined. I don't really touch on it, but I find Electrocute or Dark Harvest is the best on her. When I'm jungle, I go Dark Harvest because you have more opportunities to kind of go for the like stacks. But when I play mid, I like Electrocute because it gives you better laning. Because you can just trade with Electrocute procs, and your Q applies so many different things. I don't think I need to R here. I'm not gonna waste this, so I'm just gonna Q. Here we're just gonna end the game now. Let's go down mid. I'm gonna show you guys a really strong team fight. Let me see if I can one-shot Draven with 1 Q. Most of your damage is in your wolves, but also in your second Q. Remember, if you hit the first Q, the second one does insane amounts of damage. And your E does a lot, so you want to E when you W on top of them as soon as possible. If you want to try to kill people, that E is very important for killing. Don't want them to kill all my wolves. That's a headshot. Oh, Penta. Okay, maybe not Penta. The range is just insane. If I get a bleed on him, he's dead, but I think my W is in range. Beautifully done. It's so fun chasing people. You cannot flash her W. You can only get out of distance. But yeah, that's Naafiri mid. I think she's a great champion. One of the best mid laners in the game. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment below. And yeah, be sure to see you guys in the next ones. Take care and bye-bye.